Well, hello my friends on YouTube. Today another knife review of the CRKT Tighe Rade. Well, I hope you are having some nice holidays. I know I am, and I'm just enjoying a bit of time off and a few knives, and I still have one last loaner. And this is, as I said in the beginning, it's CRKT Tighe Rade, and it is a loaner from my friend Stephans of EDC Austria channel. And as usual, I'll leave a link in the description for his channel. CRKT Tighe Rade. This is a knife in the, well, a lot of different prices in Europe anyway, between 53 and 63 euro, even some shipping on top of that. A little cheaper in US as usual, but yeah, you can find them at different prices in Europe anyway. As I said, this is a loaner, and I'm very grateful to Stephans. And with this, I think we'll start at the blade, and I'll move a little closer, perhaps if I can get a bit of focusing here. We have what you call a nightmare grind on a satin finished blade. Yeah, this nightmare grind is, at least I'm told that the reason it's called a nightmare grind is because it's a nightmare to sharpen. That I didn't try, so maybe. Some rather large thumb studs and a very prominent logo on the blade. If we look at the other side, we have the name Tighe Rade written on it, and it is a Brian Tighe design. Brian Tighe designed a few knives for CRKT, among most known, notorious as the CRKT Tic-Tac-Toe Tanto tongue twister. And this, as well as the Tighe Rade in question here, is in fact a bit different locking system, because they have a button lock on the side here, as you can see on the side of the handle, and that makes it a bit different from a lot of other knives. But yeah, I kind of like that button lock. It does its job anyway, so very nice. Then we have the handle, stainless steel, but since this is not a liner lock or a frame lock, it is actually stainless steel scales on top of stainless steel liners on both sides. And as we can see, it has some nice decorations and a few middle lines. And at the end, at the butt end here, we have a lanyard hole, not tubed, but yeah, I guess that's the way it is. On the other side, we have the same pattern, sort of same pattern mirrored, and a pocket clip, which is not very deep carry. What I think is very nice about this one is, in fact, that is the screws to loosen it, or to take it off, is recessed, which is a very nice thing that you don't see in an awful lot of knives, but I think it rounds the knife off very nicely, and they might have as well have done it in the rest of the scales, the other screws, but well, can't have it all, I guess. An open construction with two spacers, and as far as I can tell, no skeletonizing inside, so it is a bit heavier than it sort of has to be, but yeah, that's the way it is. and that's what most of the time is fun with CRKT, that they have a very nice design and then they sort of lack the last finish. But yeah, fit and finish, everything is nice and flush. The liners are not sharp in any way inside or outside, and even though the stainless steel, the outside is it's what do we call it? It's sort of scales. It's nicely flush with the inside liners. No, as I said, no real hotspot anywhere, which is quite nice. And I forgot to mention, no jimping on top of the blade, but you can grip this fairly well, since it has that very deep finger choil in front here. I don't think your finger is going anywhere. And speaking of that, let's talk about ergonomics. As you can see, there's a lot of finger choils and a lot of humps going on, and it is in fact very, very nice in hand, at least for me. I don't know about smaller hands. I'm a size 9 and it fits me perfectly, and it really melts into your hand. Even the pocket clip just disappears in your hand. So a very, very nice ergonomic knife, and I think you might be able to see that it is when you look at this shape. Reverse grip, also very, very nice. I bet the draw cut is not that good, since all that choiling here is going to go into the palm of your hand, and I'm quite right, it even pushes a bit here, sticks a bit here at your hand. Not very good for reverse cut, but then again, a lot of really ergonomic knives rarely are, so I don't really consider that a problem, since I don't use draw cut that much. But if you do, you'll want action. This is an iPhone bearings, and the action is actually very nice. It doesn't have that very strong sound when it opens, but it opens with authority, and it stays open, and the lock seems to work quite nice. The lock doesn't provide the strongest detent, but still it holds it back, and it doesn't open when you just thrust it normally. Of course, you can make it open. You can make all knives open if you really put an effort into it, but it won't open in your pocket, I think. And very, very nice action. It actually drops shot. You have to sort of release the button before the blade hits the stop pin, because otherwise it opens again. Maybe I can't make it do it when like that. The blade opens again if you don't release the button quick enough. But I guess once you get the hang of it, it's not really an issue. Thumb studs, equally good. Actually very, very smooth and very free action, because of this button lock. You just simply release there's no liner lock, no frame lock to hold on to the blade, so the blade is quite free dropping as long as you hold the lock down. But then of course you have the little issue that it jumps up again if you don't release the button fast enough. Initially, if I should say something overall, I wasn't impressed with this knife, but it sort of grew on me in a few days when I carried it, and by now I think it's indeed a very nice knife. I can recommend it. It is sort of a, what would you call it, a tactical gentleman's carry. It is a very decorative knife, and a bit heavy because of all the stainless steel, but to me it's quite nice, and I like knives with a bit of size to them. If we just quickly make a size comparison, Ontario Rad 1, most of you know. So we could try with the Kershaw injection as well. CRKT Tighe Rade is smaller by a little bit than the Rad 1, and a little bit, maybe the same size, more or less the same size as a Kershaw injection. As I mentioned, I kind of like it. Would I buy it myself? Yeah, I think maybe I would. Even though I tried it, you know, sometimes when you get to try a knife, well, it wasn't that successful. Sometimes it's better in your mind than when you get it in hand. But I kind of like this, and I think it sort of grew on me a bit. Initially I wasn't that impressed because, well, Stephans sent me 3 knives, and this was, I think, perhaps not the best of them. But since it included the CT0456, well, that's a different price range and a different alley, so I can't really compare the two. I think the this CRKT Tighe Rade is quite nice in its own price range. Perhaps, well, a little bit overpriced. I would maybe have liked to see it in the $40-50 range, or 40-50 euro range, but well, if you can get it around the $53 euro that I talked about, then it's okay, and I think I can recommend it if you like this style. Now with this, I want you all to have a nice day, evening, whatever it is in your country. And I think it's not too late to wish you all a Merry Christmas, those of you who didn't see my Christmas videos. So, Merry Christmas. Bye bye.